Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all my blessed beloveds out there in living and thriving land. You're watching Living and Thriving with Rustie, and I'm Rustie, and I feel very extra rusty today. Anyway, I have my friend Richie.
Hi, everybody.
And he's going to tell us who he is, what he does, and why he does what he does, because it's a little Halloween special.
Well, I'm Richie Ferrara, and I'm a local certified paranormal investigator. I'm a pro ghost hunter. I do pretty much all kinds of things involving ghosts and that form of the paranormal, from private tours to private spirit box sessions to investigations. You name it, we do it.
Excellent. Where do we find you?
Find us on Facebook under Past is Present Paranormal Society, and we always list our events, whether they're online or in person, the dates, what we're doing, and what have you. You can also message us there if you're having problems with paranormal issues, and let us know what's up and see if we can help you.
When was the first time you saw a ghost?
I was about 19 or 20. And this was when I was living in New York. We used to hang out at what was known as Vanderbilt's Tomb, from the famous Vanderbilt family. And it was in the back of a cemetery not too far from my house. And for generations, kids went up there and partied. And during my time, it was no different. And one summer night, me and my buddies, we got a case of beer to go up there. Now, when you get to the cemetery, you're climbing over one big fence. And then you're walking a little bit. And then you get to the area where Vanderbilt is. And you climb over another big fence. And then you got a long, winding road with a lot of mausoleums, graves, and what have you. As you get to the top, you have an opening. And that's where the old man's vault is. It's big, it's huge, and that's where you party. And anyway, one night, real late, going up there, got the case of beer and everything. As soon as we hopped over the second gate, there stood this little girl, could have been more than 10, 11 years old. And at that time of night, doing what we just did, no way. So me and my one buddy took chase after her, and she ran. And once we made the right, we came across a grave right next to the opening, had a little girl's name on it, about that age.
Do you remember her name?
Maybe Elizabeth. It was going back, God, 1990, 1991.
That's going back to the dinosaurs. So they were actually being chased by dinosaurs, just pointing that out.
Pretty much.
So why did you get into paranormal? What was your reasoning behind chasing after ghosts?
Well, I needed something to do that always interested me, and I've always been interested with that sort of thing, which I'd like to call the unknown. And I decided to get a book on it, and then I actually took a course on it to get certified, got some equipment, and I started going. And little by little, I built everything up that I got and that I do.
All right, so we did, you did a ghost spirit box, I'm never going to get this right, spirit box session with me, which was kind of weird because you're talking into basically a speaker or something. He's going to explain it. And it said my name a few times, which was kind of weird. But evidently, spirits will come and talk to you through frequency. So explain that.
I thought one of the things it said was Rustie worships Richie.
You wish. My God. Your girlfriend's gonna beat your ass. Anyway, so explain.
We'll probably show this twice, but this is a spirit box, and this is how we communicate with spirits. And basically what you want to do is just ask a simple question and, wait for the answer. And it depends on who you're talking to. We've talked to people's loved ones, my own family included. One time on an investigation, a lady asked about a cat she had when she was a little girl, and we had a meow come over. So we've had animals.
Yeah.
Actually, at the pet cemetery one time, we had a horse muffle come through. You know the sound it makes.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks later, we found out there was a horse buried there when it was a write-up in the paper. So that was really neat. Yeah. I want to get back there too.
So what kinds of things do you talk about when you have, say, somebody who just lost somebody? Do they ask specific questions, or are they generic questions?
Yeah, you want to, if you're talking to a loved one, you want to ask questions that only you and them would have the answer for, and you don't want to make it too difficult. we don't want to ask Uncle Artie, in 1986, what car did you drive? What model car? That's kind of little,
No,
but
too much.
to like say, hey, what was your favorite restaurant? Things like that. What was your wife's name? Things like that.
All right, so let's break down the tools that we need to be a good Ghostbuster.
All right, I didn't bring everything with me. Some stuff is just too big, and that goes. But first, we got the EVP recorder, and this is how you pick up all your audio, whether it's from the Spirit Box or from an EVP session or the Blue Bear, which I didn't bring either. But basically, they talk into this, and that's how you pick up juicy stuff.
Okay, so they talk into that, but not that.
Well, this records what they're saying, I should say. But
okay.
There are times, if I'm not doing this, they'll talk into this, or they'll reply to the bear's questions. Next up, the old heat sensor. And as you can see, because I'm going to have a great story about this. Pull that trigger, and then it lights up, okay?
Now, that's not a speaker. It's actually a heat sensor.
And that's what it looks like. So anyway, where I'll be going next week is Southland Trail Cemetery, and it's an old slave cemetery. And one of the first times there, I had this, and I had set this down on the ground, and it was off. And about 2 minutes later, it went like that while it was on the ground. So I had stuff in my hand. So
somehow somebody pulled the trigger.
Yeah, I didn't do it with my toes because I had shoes on.
Right.
And you got to hold that trigger in for a second, a couple of seconds. So next up, another one of my favorite toys, the old Ghost Meter Pro, the EMF detector. This is fun in the cemetery, especially when there's no electricity, because when you get it to light up like that, you ask random questions, and you do one blink for yes and twice for no.
See if it does it.
Well, I got 11. Wait till it's a spirit. I mean, I could set it down.
There it is.
Yeah, but it's got all this electricity.
So that interferes with it.
Yeah, this will read electricity. And I got so much of it right behind me. That's what it's picking up. But in the cemetery, where there's no electricity, when it lights up like that, you can ask yes, no questions. And it's anywhere from 3 to 5, and then you got to wait a while for them to charge it back up. We've already seen my favorite, the Spirit Box. And this other neat little device I recently got. This is a little sound meter, and what you want to do is wait for this to be as low as possible, and then look for spikes in it, and that's when you want to take pictures or do some recording, because something's affecting it. There's a few other things we use out there.
So what is the most interesting that you can think of off the top of your head case that you've had that is memorable, sticks to you?
Okay, we did a house in Northport. They found Indian markings on the property. The guy who built the house was a abusive junkie, and he beat his bipolar wife every day until she went schizo and shot herself. So that house, you had just the first time I went there, I was in this one spot where there was a door right to the outside, and I can hear two guys talking, and I open the door and there's nobody there. Pictures, you could see faces in the window, orbs. I mean, this place was active.
So she probably wasn't the only one that passed.
Oh no, they had all kinds of stuff going on.
Wow.
Yeah, I did the Boo Bear session in the attic, and I got a lot of results. Not all of them pleasant, but.
So talk to me a little bit about the. There was a little boy that resonated with you that gives me goosebumps every time you tell the story. But.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I often refer to this as our saddest EVP, and it's really heartbreaking. But anyway, a couple of years ago, we went up to Brooksville to Spring Hill Cemetery. It's about 2.5 hours from here. And back in the 20s, it used to be a KKK meeting ground, and in there is actually a hanging tree. And I had set the recorder by the tree. One did some other stuff, and if you look on the page, you can find it there. You can hear a little boy saying, "I don't feel choked anymore." And,
scary.
Yeah.
Sad.
It just goes to show how brutal, some people can be for the wrong reasons.
Truth on that.
Not to say being brutal for any reason is good, but there's
So,
a time and a place for everything, and kids should not have a place in that.
truth. So let's talk about what are some of the good things that you've been able to accomplish with tapping into the other side.
I've helped quite a few people basically get closure because they got to speak to loved ones. Most recently, we did one for a story that made national headlines last year. The boy defended his sister from a home intruder and died doing it. And we were able to communicate with him. And the first thing he said was, I stood up to him, which I just thought was outstanding. I just wish it was more clear that I could have put it on the page. We actually did 2 different ones with that, and both times he came through. And the night we were there, we can hear him in the room.
Yeah.
And we go in there and nothing. But he let us know he was there.
Now talk to us about McKenna, Richie's favorite little friend.
Okay, so Max, who's on the team, he had ordered this doll from another team. And it's a haunted doll that has the spirit of a 7-year-old girl named McKenna attached to it. And, you know, if I have her, she'll mess with me a little bit. And when he has her, she messes with him. With me, she likes to knock stuff off the table, maybe pull my hair, knock on the window, and things like that. With him, she messes with his TV, so she can mess with me all she wants, just not the TV. Sorry.
Not the TV.
You know, and she'll mess with my dog too, which, you know, that's okay because my dog messes with me, so it's kind of like
reciprocal.
Yeah.
You're okay with it.
Yes. Also, another one I'd like to tell you about. I adopted a spirit that lives with me. His name is Bob. He's actually with me right now. I adopted him out of a local police officer's house, and what had happened was he was the neighbor. He was really good friends with them, and he didn't have any family, and he was not set spiritually, and he had nowhere to go. So when he died, he went there, and he was accidentally scaring the kids. He didn't mean to, but they kept seeing his shadow and stuff. So he called me up. The officer called me up. I don't want to use names.
Right.
And asked me to come to the house, and we went, and we found out what was up. We communicated with Bob, and I told him to come with me, and I would help him out, and he stays with me now. He lives at my house.
So
and,
why do you keep Bob and not release him into the ether? I don't know if that's really a thing.
Because he's going to cross over with me. That was the deal.
Oh, okay. Twinsies action, I guess.
Yeah, so he stays with me. He likes to come on investigations with me. Whenever I, get new spirit boxes, he's my go-to guy to make sure they work.
Thanks, Bob.
Yes, thank you, Bob. And there's actually a couple other spirits in my house, but they're there because they died there.
You want to talk about it?
No.
Got time? No? Okay.
No, yeah, because one of them I'm not very fond of.
Oh, no. We're not going to talk about that. Not bringing the devil to the door. So we are on a full moon tonight, and
Yes,
we are headed into Hallows Eve, which, my question to you, Richie, did you know why people bob for apples? Do you remember?
Yeah, you told me this before. It's to find a mate.
That's it. So
I can never imagine that.
Back in the Gaelic times, Celtic times, historical times, before Hallows Eve became Halloween, which is a Christian derivative, they used to celebrate the beginning of winter, fall, and they would bob for apples to find their mate. And so if one person and the other person grabbed the same apple at the same time via their mouth, like we do nowadays, they would be married. Very bizarre.
Right now they'd be getting yelled at for COVID.
Do you know where jack-o'-lantern came from?
No, but they all cool.
I love jack-o'-lanterns. But evidently Jack was a dick. He was a jerk. Everybody hated him in town. He got killed, but the devil didn't want him. So the devil would not let Jack come into hell. So the devil threw coal at Jack, and he carries a lantern, which is the light in the pumpkin, what we've created later, all throughout history. That's all he gets to do is walk the earth carrying this coal that the devil gave him.
Was he buried at? I'm doing spirit box.
He's not buried. That's the whole point. I know. So much fun. So much fun Hallows Eve is. So what do you make of full moons? Do they actually have any relevancy as to whether or not spirits?
No, absolutely not. I know some people are going to disagree with that one, but in my experience, when the spirits want to be active, whether there's a full moon or not, they'll be active. I've had them active on a full moon. I've had them quiet on a full moon, and this is including in a cemetery. So the moon phase could do something, but I don't believe it does.
I like the Foon Maze. That was pretty good.
That was cool, wasn't it? That's a good band name.
Foon Maze.
I'm gonna tell my best buddy he's in a band. Foon Maze. That's the name of a band.
So what are you doing next week? You're doing something special?
Yeah, I got a sold-out private tour at Southland Trail Cemetery, the old slave cemetery, and I haven't been there in months and months and months, so I'm really excited. I don't have the dates that we'll be starting to do the walking tour downtown Punta Gorda, but I'll know more about that next week. I'll probably have another private tour this month. I don't have the date yet, and then on the the 17th I'll be here doing spirit box sessions, and then on the 30th we're doing a live feed at the old Arcadia Opera House. So if you want a taste of the paranormal, tune in on Facebook, Past is Present Paranormal Society, from 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. and follow us around the Opera House and see what comes up.
All right, so to wrap up today's show, give us one thing that you absolutely do not want people to ask when you are spirit boxing.
I won't deal with anything demonic or satanic. I know they're there, but if you initially want to do something like that, which I've had people do that, you're wasting your time, because I won't even
consider it.
Yeah, it won't
no
happen.
Dark magic.
Nothing satanic, nothing evil. I know you do come across it. I know I have. You could go on my page, another house that we had to have cleansed by a priest. You can hear a demonic EVP growl from there. Actually, I watched a big dog get pushed over by this thing.
Really?
Yeah, boxer, and I got pictures of a mist from there. And
what about Powerball numbers?
no, you don't want to do something like that. You'll hear numbers sometimes, but they could be saying something else. But no, if you're meant to have the lottery, you'll have it. You'll come up with the numbers. It's not something you want to try to do.
Do you want to come in with a bad attitude?
Absolutely not.
Why?
If you have a bad attitude, they're not going to want to be bothered with you. When you're a negative ninny, they don't want to be bothered with you. Maybe a couple of dark ones might attach themselves to you.
Oh.
But yeah, I've had a couple of people that just everything's negative and then not getting any results.
Right.
You want to be positive about it.
Or at least open to it.
Yeah.
Any last words before I bury you? I mean, end the interview?
I like that. That was pretty good.
Thanks. Practice.
Well, if you need help with any paranormal situations, or you're interested in doing a private tour, you can look us up on Facebook, Past is Present Paranormal Society, and leave us a message. We'll get back to you as soon as we can and see what we can do for you.
You do house cleansings too, right?
We do it all.
You do it all, except the dishes.
Well,
They don't do the
unfortunately,
dishes.
I got to do that too, because my dog won't get a job.
She won't get a job, damn dogs. God. Mine just unmake my bed.
You know what? She does let me know when something's going on.
No, so do mine. Mine are freaky.
I got this. This is really cool. Not too long ago, she was barking towards my closet, and I have these beads.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just watching them sway back and forth. That's what she was.
So somebody was hanging out, swaying your beads.
Yeah, probably Bob.
All right, you're watching Living and Thriving with Rusty. I'm Rusty, and this is my friend Richie, who likes to hang out with ghosts, and
absolutely
has Bob. Bob, who's here as well. Hi, Bob. Is Richie's partner in crime, so to speak, when it comes to the ghost world and ghost speak. You're beautiful. You're loving. I love you. I appreciate you. Go hit up his Facebook page and get some hunts on. And remember, 2 cookies, not 4. I'm watching you. Until next time.